This is Daniel with QuadLugs, and today we're going to be doing the electronics install on the 380. Last time we left off with a completed frame, and we're going to go ahead and take off this bottom here. Okay, we're ready to install our ESC. I'm using the Qbrain, and if you've been watching our videos, you know this is pretty much what we use exclusively. And on this particular one, we're putting in a 20 amp, and I think these motors here are 221210 SUPO motors, and I think they're like 1400 kV. So we're going to go ahead and position it. And I am using 8x4 props, by the way, on that. So we're going to position it. I'm going to use this as the front. And I always, well, let's do this. Let's use this as the front. It's a little bit easier. I always run my control and my battery leads out the right-hand side. And if you're looking from the back to the front, so this being the front, be coming out the right hand side. I want this to come out this way. This is the way I've been doing it, and it works out. Either way, it's fine. Either to the bottom of the deck or onto the pan. But by doing it this way, this is motor number 1, and it's going to be fed by ESC number 4. This is motor number 2, and it's going to be fed by ESC number 1. This is motor number 3, and it's going to be fed by ESC number 2. And this is motor number 4, and it's going to be fed by ESC number 3. And we'll straighten that out in a minute. Now let me grab some Velcro. The ESC, like I was mentioning, it's off of another machine, and it already has the hook Velcro on it, so I'm going to use some loop here on the frame. This is just personally how I do it, because I do move items from machine to machine. I normally put loop on the quad or on the multi-rotor, and everything that attaches to it, including the battery, I use the hook. But that's just the way I do it, so you know, whichever way you choose is going to be obviously the right way. Now this is, if you remember, I had put some marks on here before on the frame. And I'm going to move these around to where they pretty much align so I can tell about where this goes. So let's go ahead and put this in about the middle here, and we're going to push it down on there. And there we go. Now, you can, and normally I do cut these leads going to the motors, but on this one I'm going to leave it the full length that comes with it. It already has connectors on, so there's no soldering required, and I'll show you how I do it whenever I do this, and it works out pretty good. And if you ever move this to another one, you have the leads again, and you can choose to cut them at any time you want, or you can cut them now. But I'll show you how I do it whenever I leave them long. So we're going to go ahead and next, let's go ahead and get our motors put on. And I'm only going to put 2 zip ties on these right now. And I've flown this thing with the 380 with just 2 zip ties for quite a while, and you know, but it's better to put 4 on. However, like I said, I've been flying it like this for a long time, and I haven't had any problems. Okay, we're finishing up the last motor. You can put screw, I mean, you can screw the motors on if you want to. But I'll be real honest with you. These tie bands are like 18-pound test, I guess, or zip ties are 18-pound, 4-inch. And excuse me, I haven't had any problem at all. So I mean, it's up to you. You know, if you want to put screws in, you can. I tell you, I haven't had any problem with this and doing it this way, and it sure makes it a lot easier and faster. So we're going to be, I want this to be coming out the right hand side, and again, that's just the way I do it. If you want it out the left, you can definitely do it out the left. If you want it coming out of the back or the front, you can do it that way too. Just turn your ESC, you know, so it'll handle it. So I want this to come out the right. This is motor number 1. So this is going to be, let's do this. Okay, we're going to start hooking up the wires now. And what you want to make sure is that, you know, these 3 go to one, these 3 go to the other. You know, make sure we don't, you know, get them crossed up. And I'll wind up double checking that, you know, again. So I bring them around the front like this. We're going to bring them around the front, and then we'll hook them up. And we'll check the motor rotation later. I just want to get them hooked up and everything routed first. These are the wire ties that I use, and they're Velcro wire ties. And I'll tell you what, they work great. I love these things. They come on a roll, and you know, the pieces are like 10 or 12 inches long, 10 inches maybe. And you'll get, you know, I think a couple of them, 2, maybe 3 out of each, I forget now. You just wrap around, cut it, wrap around, cut it. But you use them over and over and over again. We'll make sure we have those ESC wires, bring them around the front side. And anyway, getting back to the straps, you can use them over and over, and I do. So, you know, it works out pretty good. They hold well, and I'm real satisfied with them. I think, personally, they look good. You know, it makes a nice look. And the main thing, everything I do on these, I try to, that you can reuse things. We're going to bring this around the front again, around this way. You know, of course, the lugs can be used over and over. Some of these lugs, you know, were used over again on this build. You can use the motors. I usually try to size the motors so that, you know, you can use them for, you know, a few different size multi-rotors or tries that we have. Again, we're going to check and make sure the wires go to that one. Bring it around the front. So between, you know, the motors, the controller, the lugs, you know, I try to, you know, make it where it's somewhat reasonable, you know, to build these things, and you know, you build different ones. I mean, if something new comes out and you like the look of it, you can try it out with your lugs. I mean, that's the neat thing about it. Or, you know, what's neater than that is that you have an idea and you make it happen and you try it. Even if it doesn't work, you had an idea and you tried it. It's wonderful, and I've done a lot of that. Okay, this is coming out on the right the way I wanted. So let me show you how I do the wires. what I do, we have the piece that's going to go here like this, and this is going to come through here. So I'm going to go like this, wrap this around, and wrap that around. Then I'm going to put a wire tie like this, or a zip tie. I keep calling them wire ties. You know what I mean. And we're going to put this on, and we're going to tighten it up a little bit, and we're going to finish that off. And well, let's see what it looks like. I'm going to hold that like that, and see how neat that comes out. I personally think it makes a really neat look, real clean. So we're good with that. We're going to pull that like that, and we're going to cut that. Then we'll do this one the same. And this way you can keep these wires full length. That means you can use them again on something else. And not have to cut them. And unless you want to, then heck yeah. So it's a good way to do it. This is going to come around like that. I'll tighten that up. And we're going to cut that. Now, let's get us a cheat sheet, as I call it. And we'll have something to write with here. So, this is 1 and 2. So 1 is going to number 4, which are ESC number 4, which is brown. So brown is 1. 2 is going to 1. 1 is red, so red is 2. Number 3 is going to 2, ESC 2. 2 is orange. So orange is 3. Number 4 motor is going to ESC 3, which is white. So white is going to number 4. So let's just double check. 1 is going to number 4 ESC, which is brown. Brown to number 1. Number 2 is going to 1 ESC 1, which is red. Red is number 2. Number 3 is going to number 2 ESC. Number 2 ESC is orange. Orange is number 3. Number 4 motor is going to number 3 ESC. Number 3 ESC is white. White is 4. Okay. So we're ready to put our pan on. Just that fast, eh? Pretty good. Not too bad. What we want to make sure is that the wires are in their right place. Duh. Okay. And then we'll double check this, before we clamp down the top. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on there, and then I'm going to keep my fingers on there. And let's see if I can get this put back on the way it was. I don't think this is the way it was. And you can mark this when you take it off, left or right side, or front or back, probably easier. Save you just a little bit of aggravation. So we'll put that on, and then move this one over to the line, or the mark on the wood that we had. And let's see. Yep. Now we'll go ahead and line this body leg up. make sure the wires are out from underneath. And we'll line this one up. Now we're going to check and make sure none of these wires are under, in between the wood. That one is right there, if you notice. We'll move that out of the way. Just to make sure it's not between the wood and the body support lug. And we'll pull that one back. And we'll tighten these up. And let me double check again. We're clean there. Double check this one. And we're clean there. So this is the look you're going to get. It's going to be coming out, coming around into your motor. Now, you can put wire ties on these to hold them together if you want. I don't really find it necessary, but obviously you can dig them, we'll do it, no problem. But you can see it makes for a really nice looking job, I think. And the thing is that if you want it coming out of here, you can cut these wires and you can, come around. I mean, you can bring the wires out right here and come around and, cut them and do it that way. You can have them, come out this way if you want. No problem, just whatever, works for you, whatever you want. But this works out real good right here, and you can keep the wire length this way and use it again. So, on something that would take a longer wire length. So, I like it, looks good. Now we're ready for our controller. I'm going to be using the KK board, and it's in our KK board holder and receiver pad lug. And it's set up on this one that the receiver is pointing front. You can have it set up where the receiver's to the back. If you're going to put a body on here and you're going to use the original size KK, you're going to have to do that. Now, one thing I'd like to mention that whenever you're building this, is that you can cut these tabs off, and when you cut them off, the body's still going to screw into this area right here, and it'll open this up, even more. So you'll have just more room to work with. But let's go ahead and put the loop down. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in about the center here. Now, again, that's your choice. I have found out that these controllers do not have to be totally in the center. I've actually ran them up toward the front and toward the back and haven't had any problems at all. And again, I'm ready. There we go. And like I was saying, this is going to come over to the right. Now, you can, and I do this quite often, is that I'll drill a hole in the deck here and run this wiring up through so that it's not hanging out the side. Or in this particular build, whenever you can just bring this up through here, and that's what I'm going to do on this one. It's a little bit, I guess I should have done this before I put the pan on. Okay, so I ran that in between here, so that's nice and neat right there. So I'm gonna cross these over here. There we go. Good. So brown is number one. Now on a KK, we all know that it takes the power from the ESC, and we're going to have to put the brown lead on this one, because this has to go to number one. no problem. We'll just move it. And we'll take the brown here. And I'm telling you, once again, these Qbrains are, 4-in-1s. I really like it. So much easier. And, you don't have to worry about power distribution. It's really nice. I'm telling you, I'm totally sold on it. And so far I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't had any problems at all. So let's do this, and we're going to go ahead and put the white here. Okay. So back to our cheat sheet. Brown is number 1, and it has our power. Red is number 2. Orange is number 3. And white is number 4. And we're done. Now we can put us a wire tie here and clean this up. The body is going to be on it, or you can run this without the body, whatever whatever you want to do. Okay, and that cleans that up. And we'll double check this. Brown with the power is going to number 1. Red is going to number 2. Orange is going to number 3, excuse me. And white is going to number 4. And just this fast, your electronics are done. The next step we're going to do is check the rotation on the motors. Of course, check the controls on your boards, go through that. Check the rotations on the motor. Prop it out. And then we're going to fit the body on it. I have another video we're going to be doing on that. This is the body we're going to be using. And that's the fit we'll get once it's on. And we'll put, when we do the body install, we'll put these tabs on. We have a video on building the body, and we'll go ahead and put these tabs on, and we'll secure it down, and this is the look you're going to get. I think it came out really well, really clean. One other thing we need to do, and let's do that now. We're going to put Velcro on either side of this, and we're also going to use some thin CA, and like I was mentioning when we built the frame, is that I normally go in and put some thin CA to give a little extra hold on this. So just a little bit on either side, and that's all you need. It's going to wick in. And I use 2-inch Velcro, 2-inch wide, and I get it over at Lowe's, and it's just one place to get it. And I'll tell you what, it's it's really reasonable, I think, and it seems to fit perfect with all of our parts. This is the 2-inch side right here, or the width that it comes in, and you'll see that it fits right in there on the battery mount. Makes for a really nice looking job. And we'll go ahead and push that down, and then we'll get this backing off, and sometimes it comes off really good and sometimes it's like a bear. There we go. And we'll take the 2-inch width, And I just cut it to length, you know, for each side. And my cut here was a little bit crooked, but it'll be all right. I can trim that off. In fact, I'll probably trim both of them off to be the same. Okay, I got it trimmed off. And that's between the, again, the CA wicking in, the screws, and the Velcro. And you put the opposite Velcro on your battery and the strap. Great. So there we are. That's what it's going to look like. I think they make a real nice build again. And that's our new look. And they fly great, and I think they look really, really good. I'm really happy with this. So the next video is going to be mounting the body. This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we'll see you on the next one.